Greetings and salutation. This is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy. I am your moderator for tonight for another spectacular DC animation film, and of course, is another Batman film, as per usual for a DC, review. But of course, this is no other Batman animation movie. This is the one, Batman, the Killing Joke. Of course, the how many movies is this? Oh my god, I can. The 27 in the DC animation original films. Of course, we got the usual cast here. Kevin Conroy, the late great Kevin Conroy, is voicing Batman here, and of course, Mark Hamill is voicing the Joker here. In last edition from the DCAU, Terry Strong comes back to voice Barbara Gordon, who played her in the new Batman Adventures during the late 90s. She wasn't in the original show. But anyway, so greetings, guys. Of course, I have Jeff S. TrueKnowledge here, the co-host for MCU'S Edge. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, most definitely, sir. I'm feeling pretty good for the most part.
Awesome. And of course, we got Cyberneticshark, who is also the co-host of the MCU'S Edge. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Ready to talk some Killing Joke.
Yeah. So very excited to talk about this movie. I mean, I guess in preference, I'm a big Batman guy, and of course, Killing Joke. I don't know what's your guys' opinions on this graphic novel, but this is the top tier, Batman story that has been highly regarded over the years since 1988, and completely, you know, pushed the Joker into the darker age during the 80s after Dark Knight Returns, after so many years of being this typical prankster stuff. But anyway, we'll get into that. Hello, Blu-ray Collector 96. Welcome to the chat. Hopefully, you can stick around and enjoy this awesome review of Batman: The Killing Joke. So, let me start with you guys. Two questions, and get this ball running. Let me start with you, Cyberneticshark. Have you read the graphic novel? And is this your first time watching this movie, or is this like another repeated movie? Go ahead.
I have not read the comic. I'm familiar with it. I've seen pictures. I've seen images of it. I've seen pages from it and stuff like that, but I've never actually read the complete entire comic itself. But I do recall from what I saw about it, it just was really cool looking. And this is not my first time seeing Batman: The Killing Joke. I've seen it a few different times now. I think this is my first time, though, in a while. Probably at least a couple years since the last time I watched it. And, it's a very solid film, very interesting. I think that it does a really great job, giving us a nice hard R rating, Batman animated film, and also the first of the animated films from DC to be R-rated. And I thought that they did a decent job with it. And, I think the animation was decent, and I enjoyed just everything about it. So, overall, I think it did a great job of bringing that story, that comic book to life, and giving us a decent iteration of it. Definitely some things I would have changed for it, made it a little bit more hard R, but other than that, I thought it was a really solid animated film.
Yeah, thank you. This is so. Just looking at my the notes and trivia. This is the first before the Joker, the Todd Phillips Joker from 2019. This is the first Batman film to be rated R. Before the Joker and pretty much the Penguin TV show, and I don't know what's Clayface is going to be rated, but I kind of expect it to be rated R because of the body horror and the nature of that character of Clayface. But yeah, so we got Jeff came back. So Jeff, your next question. Have you read the graphic novel, and is this your first time seeing this film?
I always come back, sir. There was only one time, one live stream where I went off during a live, and I laid down in my bed and I couldn't get back up, and that was just one time. Where my back went out for some reason, and I couldn't come back and finish the live stream. It was the only one I've ever been sidelined during or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like this was like a improvement overall in terms of like DC animated films recently, you know, as far as the ones we've been reviewing. But I've like I found myself to be like just a little bit confused at times, like during the film, with some of the stuff that happened. And like we'll address it like when we break it down, but you know, like I didn't really understand why we had to have like that whole opening and like, you know, like half of the film that like they had where you know, the one fucking asshole guy or whatever, you know, like had a crush on, you know, Batgirl or whatever, you know. And then they jumped from that story to like the Joker story of the movie, you know, after that. And there was no connection between the two things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't understand that. You know, like I did not see a connection, you know, between like what the events of the beginning of the film and then like, you know, the end of the film. I did not see a connection there. So that was weird. I didn't understand that. And I don't really know how I feel about making Batgirl this like, you know, super prominent like, you know, character to Batman, you know, like how does that work? Like where did Robin go? You know, like not was there the last film that Batman was in, you know what I'm saying? Like so why would Robin be back now?
Yeah. So just to clear this up, Batman the Killing Joke in the 80s, it was like during the time when Jason Todd was as Robin and the death in the family happened. So, and I'm trying to remember, this wasn't supposed to be in continuity in DC, but the editors of DC of Batman made Killing Joke to be in continuity. So they retroactively made Barbara Gordon cripple in the continuity, which was never the intention of Alan Moore and Brian, the artist that does the graphic novel. And yeah, so that's why Robin is not in this story. This was supposed to be a one single shot, Elseworld story. Well,
Well, either way, I mean, I you know, again, I don't know anything about Batgirl in the comics or anything like that. You know, I have no idea, so I don't know, you know, how that I don't know anything about that relationship with Batman or like, you know, how that all works out. You know, but
yeah.
to me, she's just like this new character. You know, like that I don't really know a lot about. You know what I mean? Like and you know, and just seeing her in this like pivotal, you know, capacity, you know, with Batman, it just seems kind of like strange and abrupt. You know, supposedly they've been like working together for 3 years or whatever, you know, it's like, what the fuck, you know, I don't know. And you know, besides that, you know, that's cool that it was rated R and everything, you know. I mean, I can definitely see why, you know, there's definitely, some rated R, you know, type shit that happens in the movie. And that surprised me when I saw that, when it's displayed on the screen that it was a rated R film. You know, that's definitely different. You know, I guess this is the first DC animated film we've done that was rated R. I don't know.
Yeah, this is our first in the DC reviews because a lot of it is either PG-13 or PG. Yeah.
What was the Snyder cut rated?
Oh, I guess in live action, yeah, like the Snyder cut was rated R. The Joker films are rated R, of course. Yeah.
Do they even have the R rating anymore? Is that even a thing? They don't use that anymore, do they? Really?
Yeah, they use rated R. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Cyber, didn't they get rid of the rated R rating? Oh, I thought they did. Honestly, at least for television, I thought they changed it to TVMA or whatever.
Yeah, for television, it's always been TVMA. It's never been R.
Oh, it's never been R on
No,
television?
no, just for movies, not for TV shows.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. All right. I'm wrong about that then. I honestly I thought that I thought television used to use the R rating system at one point. I was tripping.
No,
I thought all those old HBO shows back in the day were rated R, like The Sopranos and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
they are. It's just a different word. A different word they say. They call it TVMA, which just that's their version of rated R.
I just don't remember it. I don't remember ever saying TVMA before a Sopranos episode or whatever, but I'm sure it was there. That was a long time ago that I watched The Sopranos. But anyways, yeah, again, it was an improvement. An hour and 17 minutes is a pretty pretty solid watch time. It's a pretty easy watch. And you don't have to get too invested in time wise, into the film. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is that's a plus, for the movie, right?
Yeah,
As far as something that I do think is a positive. But it's I don't know. It has some like sloppy kind of softer moments and scenes that occur throughout the film that are kind of lackluster for me, kind of, I thought. And there were some better, and then there were some better scenes. The Batman stuff was pretty solid for the most part. And I didn't really I didn't hate Batgirl or anything like that. Like, she's okay. Um, besides that, I mean, I don't know how I really feel about this new, sort of era of DC animated films yet. I'm still kind of like feeling them out. It's different. So yeah.
yeah. Now, yeah, this layer half we're going to review is like hit and miss compared to like the first one that we did together, like starting with Superman Doomsday. Because the thing I liked the first half was they were adapting storylines from the comic books, and then some bizarre reason, well, mainly because the Avengers became popular in the movies. They wanted to start their shared universe, and so they made these like DC animation movies to be a shared continuity, which is kind of stupid. I don't want to share universe with DC. It's like I was happy with these DC animation films adapting the most famous or obscure comic book storyline from each of the characters, in their long history. And I'll discuss throughout the film about the notes, the trivia that you don't know. The whole let me get this out of the way. The whole Batgirl Batman relationship is something that's actually a carryover from the DCAU, the DC Animation Universe, because some bizarre reason, Bruce Timm, who's like the big guy, like the Karen Feige of that side of DC, he has this weird obsession of he likes this idea of Batman having a relationship with Batgirl.
Did they have a
Eh,
relationship? Did they have a relationship? I didn't understand that.
No, they don't have a relationship in the comic books. It's just a thing that the guy that's working in the film likes for some bizarre reason. It's this weird, pardon my French, a fetish. I don't know. I don't like it, and it's this weird thing that is just something that Bruce Tim like. So that's what it is. And the comic books, Batgirl was there, but uh, the reason that we have her here is because the DC people wanted to make Batman dark during this time, and so they were really pushing hard to get rid of everything that was like associated with the Batman 60 show. Because remember, the Batman 60 show was the thing that got people to know about Batman, and unfortunately, it didn't help Batman's image during the years. So DC let all the creators like Alan Moore and then whoever was writing Death in the Family to say, yeah, kill the current Robin, that was Jason Todd, and then yeah, you can cripple Batgirl because we don't want them because they were associated so close to the 60 show. It was that thing during that time, like they were trying so hard to push Batman in that dark, um, beat this dark adventure like in the 1939, but it became more successful when the '89 film came out, and that was like, oh, this is what Batman is. So yeah, it's a long history. But I'll bring it up again, whatever. Okay, let's get into the yeah, it's as Batman, who is very popular, he has his ups and downs. So it's crazy. Okay, so we start with the beginning of the film. Um, while we see our first character, Batgirl, patrolling one evening. So we see Batgirl in her fabulous black suit, which I like. I preferred that over the was it purple suit she had in the New 52. So she fails to stop the robbery process, but with the help of Batman, managed to apprehend one of the criminals involved. The perpetrator is Paris France. Uh, Very corny name for a mafia person, but whatever. Okay, so a nephew of a powerful mob boss. And France becomes a chance to Batgirl and starts sending her messages. Okay. And after France tricks her into finding his uncle's, finding his uncle's dead body, right? Batman becomes concerned for Barbara's safety and takes her off the case, which that's no, not good. And so urging that she will eventually be tempted to kill the criminals she pursues. Uh, yeah, and then after that, and I'm gonna wrap up this part because I think this is kind of where the movie falls down for me. Outrage. Batgirl begins attacking Batman physically and verbally, and which quickly spirals into them having sex, which I was kind of surprised they did that, but uh, they're trying really hard to make this movie very hard, which is really bad. So let me stop there. Let me go to you, Jeff. What do you thought about this section, the beginning of this movie, up to, Batgirl, having sex with Batman in the rooftops?
So I was just kind of confused with that. So they actually had sex. I didn't realize that. I must have missed that part when they had sex because I did not see that. Then I was wondering later on when she mentioned them having sex, what she was talking about. I had no idea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, the Batgirl opening and her whole significant role, that she has in her first half of the film, it's all good. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't really have a problem with her.
No.
I just when she's musing about Batman to her gay friend or whatever, the whole that stuff is, I'm just kind of like, okay, her having this the stereotypical gay friend, gay buddy or whatever is so stereotypical. But whatever, I don't know why they felt that they had to add that to the film, but I guess they did, they felt they had to. Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand why Batman would want to work with Batgirl like that, team up, essentially, all the time with her, on everything. I just don't really understand, his motivation in doing that. Kind of based off of my, experience with Batman in the past, I guess. I guess whatever, if that's the deal, they work together, that's fine. The one criminal thug guy that is kind of the sort of villain of the first half of the film is kind of whatever, honestly, that guy's kind of stupid, he doesn't really accomplish very much, in the film. But that's about it, sir.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the whole Batman Batgirl relationship here is so weird. I just think they're trying to like make Batgirl strong. It's crippled by the Joker.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, I saw her like one punch one guy, like, to the ground or whatever, and I was kind of like, okay, like, all right, so what a shock. Like, Batgirl can one punch dudes, like, okay.
yeah, I know. It's I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's so unnecessary. Like I get that what happens to Batgirl is really dark. If you wanted to present her as a hero, then like just do a flashback of her, like in an old case that Batman did with her, like in the Silver Age Batman comics or something like that, that involves with the Joker, and like tie that up into the Killing Joke. I don't think you need this like whole opening with this like creepy mafia person and all that.
No,
It's just,
nah, they don't really need it.
yeah, it's just this weird thing. It doesn't even connect at all with the Killing Joke. So the writers here just didn't do a really good job of like making Batgirl as important, and like they make her important, but not in a way, not in a good way, unfortunately. But anyway, Saber, you're next. What are your thoughts on the opening here up to Batgirl did had sex with Batman, or starting to have sex with Batman in the rooftop.
So the beginning of this film is decent. It's not horrible. It's pretty action packed. There's got some great kind of villains going on. You got some good action. You get introduced to Batman, of course. You get introduced to Batgirl and everything like that. And you get introduced kind of to this Paris villain. And you get some good car chases, and you get some bat action, and you got some bat driving and all that kind of good stuff, which is fun. And I think leading up to kind of the end point there, with them hooking up on the rooftop, you're kind of like thinking to yourself, like, okay, this is ours. So are they going to show actually something? And yet they just show her take off her shirt and then pan away, and it's kind of like, okay, like I wouldn't really consider that a sex scene, at all, in any sense
Yeah,
of the animated world. I mean, literally, it's like nothing. It's like, oh, a little noise, and then it's gone. I think to me, that would be, if you were to blink your eye, you'd be like, what sex scene? What are you talking about? Hence, what with Jeff going. What are you talking about? A sex scene? Exactly, because there is no sex scene. It's just it iterates, or it kind of initiates or says, oh, they supposedly did it. It's kind of what they did there with them showing them kiss and then her take off her shirt. So I think that's kind of funny that they consider that a sex scene. I think that's absolutely hilarious, because I remember when this movie came out, and they made a big deal about that, because this is R, there's gore in it, there's sex in it, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, really? I'm like, sexy? And I'm like, what? I'm like, no way. And like after the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? I'm like, that was literally nothing. That basically, you're saying, oh yes, they supposedly had sex. That's all it was. And I was like cracking up, going, wow, that is, I'm sorry, but that was nothing impressive. It was nothing I felt added to the film. I'm like, this is just stupid. Like, what was the point of that? You could have just even like had them give a glance and pan away, and you would have been even better there. Like, okay, they supposedly did it. Okay, fine. But at the same time, I think like that scene there was like the stupidest part of this beginning. Other than that, I thought the rest of the beginning was pretty good. We had the action packedness. We have seeing Batgirl watch Batman and her father exchange stuff. We see have that great action sequence at the bank, and of course the truck sequence, which I thought was really entertaining. So I feel this film is off to a really good start until that where it segues into that little stupid thing. And I think that overall it's still a very solid beginning to this animated film that is based off of a really great comic. So yeah, overall I think it's decent, and I think that our endpoint is probably the weakest part of this film.
yeah, I completely agreed. By the way, I just want to let everyone know that the Wikipedia say they had sex, and I agree with Cyber that like it was not a like a sexy. It's just like her, like on top of Batman, they start kissing, and then she takes her, her costume off, her top off, with her bra still attached, and then yeah, and then they just pants up to that what do you call it, gargoyle, and then that's it. Like that. That was really like I agree. Like they made such a big deal out of this rated R, which is rated R, but like it's later on of the actual story where it actually is rated R, and then this part is like I don't know. This feels like PG-13. So anyway, and just notify people. All of this is not in the book. Just to let you know, the book is very short, very quick read. This whole part is just added in to pad out the whole like runtime. All right, so let's finish up this whole like short like prologue, whatever. Batgirl. So after that, like after a few nights later, Batgirl tries to apologize to Batman, but he is ambushed by France and his men, prompting her to come to his aid. And when she arrives and overpowers French, he makes her lose her control, resulting in a brutal beating with Batgirl stopping just for short of killing France. Realizing Batman was right, realizing Batman was right, she retires from crime fighting. Okay, let me stop there. Go back to you, Cyber. What do you thought about this last part of the prologue? Prologue of her retiring from crime fighting. Go ahead. Ugh, can't talk right now. It's your turn, Cyber. Jeff. I guess you go next. What do you thought about that Empire of the prologue?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's uh just what kind of whatever, to be honest with you. Again, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't connect to like, the later half of the film. So it's kind of irrelevant, but it's all right. I mean, watching Batgirl like stomp the fuck out of that guy, like was cool, and I dug that, and there was some good action and like hand to hand combat scenes, without question, some good Batman stuff, and seeing Batman throw batarangs around at motherfuckers and shit like that and all that, yeah, it's cool. Again, I mean, I don't really care about that fucking guy, the thug guy or whatever that has a crush on Batgirl or whatever. I hate the fucking the Batgirl like Batman relationship like storyline that you have with like the gay buddy where Batgirl like talks about their relationship or whatever, like their romantic relationship or whatever that I don't even feel like exists, like it's not even there. So I don't know what she's talking about, like it's not even a real thing. So I don't know. The Joker stuff is a lot more interesting than this stuff. But I'm okay with Batgirl, she's all right. I mean, she got really lucky when she got knocked out that one time and like she just went in that fucking like bank vault or whatever, and like went to sleep. If she would have fucking like not went in there, she would have got fucking raped. She got raped and shit, that's not good. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's pointless. This prologue. Cyber, you're next, sir. What are your thoughts on this last part of the prologue?
What's the end point?
The end point is pretty much Batgirl retiring from crime fighting. So yeah, that's the end point.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree with like kind of what everyone's kind of mentioned. This portion really is kind of the boring portion of the film. There's not really much that goes on here except for kind of just like bickering back and forth between people and stuff like that. And the relationship thing between Batman and Batgirl, I totally feel it's unnecessary for this film. I don't know how much that is in effect for the actual comic book, but in this effect, I think it doesn't do any justice for the film. I think it actually takes away from what this film's about. It's about, the Joker. The Joker is the main focus along with Batman. So it's kind of like they added this silly love story type of thing to this that just didn't add anything to it that didn't make it more entertaining, and it also didn't help it at the same time. So I was kind of like, what's the point of this? Like, this just seems so stupid. But overall, I think that, this section still has some entertainment value to it. It moves the film along and basically, takes us to her retiring, which I think was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I reread the graphic novel today, and the like it's totally different from the graphic novel because the relationship with Batman and Batgirl in the comic books during that time was more like neutral, like it's more like a father-daughter relationship, kind of like his relationship with Robin, like as a son. And because first off, like, she's the daughter of the Commissioner Gordon, so like him dating her, that is so awkward and so bizarre. In the comic books, it's just a very neutral like friendship, and that makes a lot of sense. And it's never like this. It's just a weird thing that they decided to do in this film because I don't know, to shock people, because this is rated R. So that's just want to kind of give Cyber the confirmation where this relation is, because usually all the time Batgirl and Batman's relationship is always like a friendship. It's respectable, like, adult relationship. It's nothing like this kind of creepy like love like relationship that was never set up in the comic books. It's just a thing that Bruce Timm likes from, I don't know, like he likes that pairing for some bizarre reason. So just confirming that part. All right. Good job, guys. So let's get into the actual Killing Joke that we really want to discuss, because that's what we're here for, right? So yeah. So after this, this part is not from the book. The way the book opens is we actually open in Arkham Asylum. So this is a new thing they did, which I was totally fine with. Batman investigate a murder scene with Detective Harvey Bullock, who's also in the graphic novel. So that's good. By the way, they know who's in the book. It concludes that the Joker, currently held at Arkham Asylum, must be behind the crime. Um, Batman goes to Arkham to talk to the Joker, only discovered that he has escaped and put a decoy in his place. And you guys can jump around after I'm done here, because they do cut with the flashback of the Joker's origin story. Because in Wikipedia here, they kind of just separate those apart here. So just let you guys know that. So Joker then attacks Barbara and her father, Commissioner Gordon. She here. Joker shoots her in the stomach, paralyzing her from the waist down. Kidnaps Gordon, that takes him to the abandoned amusement park, and there Joker, strips him naked as they subject him to torture, particularly by showing him photos of Barbara naked and pain, much to Gordon's horror. And then the story is intercut with the flashback of the Joker's orange story, and this is where I'm going to wrap up here. It is revealed that he was once a lab technician who quit his job to become a stand-up comedian, only to fail miserably. Desperate to support his pregnant wife, Ginny, he agrees to help the two criminals rob his former workplace. And the criminals tell him that he has to use the Red Hood's mask and cape, secretly intending to frame him, which is very true, and that's true in the comic books. And during the planning, the police interrupt to inform the comedian. We don't really get the name of this character. That's true from the comic books. We never really get a true name for the Joker. It's always unknown. Um, so, forming this comedian that Jenny and their unborn child have died in a household accident. So agrees sticking by the rest of his family. He tries to withdraw the plan, but the criminals convince him into keeping his commitment to them, which he reluctantly accepts. So let me stop there. Um, Let me get back to you, Cyber. Is your turn, sir. What do you thought about this portion of the Killing Joke here? Batman investigating the the beginning. Batman investigating the murder scene. Tried to meet with Joker, but the Joker escaped, and then the end point is pretty much the flashback of the Joker being a comedian, and the end point is where he's getting the confirmation that his wife and child had died in the hassle accident. Go ahead.
I mean, honestly, this is when the film really starts to get interesting. We bring in the Joker, and he's a part of the whole scheme. We get kind of that back history of him a little bit with that flashback, and then we also just get kind of interesting thought process as things go on here with just what everything is going on with the Joker and everything like that. I mean, that flashback is kind of interesting simply for the fact that we get, kind of that back history, like, oh, he originally wanted to be a comedian, and, then he went to a life of crime because he couldn't get a job because he sucked at being a comedian and all this kind of stuff. And I thought that was kind of interesting and different, and it changed up kind of the Joker's story a little bit too as well. And, then of course, the investigation Batman's doing is really interesting, going there and not finding there because he has escaped again. And you're like, this guy is a crafty motherfucker. You're thinking like to yourself, and he's able to escape, Arkham Asylum and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, wow, this guy is very crafty. So I think that's interesting that, he's not there when Batman goes there. And we have that backstory that pops up there too afterwards, kind of giving you some of the Joker's, history, but at the same time, giving you Joker without it being the actual Joker too, I thought was kind of interesting as well. Giving you kind of a thought process of kind of who was he, who was this character before he was officially the Joker, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, him finding out that his family dies, you're just kind of like, what else would you do if you ended up finding that out? When you're out there trying to do something to protect that family. And, basically you go nuts. So I think that was a great way of showing kind of what led Joker down the pathway, especially with the death of his family. So I think that was really a killer way of doing that. And I think overall, this is a really fun section that I think really improves the film, really pushes it forward, and gives you that great, rich history of this great character.
Nope, I agree. It was fun how they were gonna adapt this the art from the graphic novel, and they did a pretty good job with it. They could have done better, but I mean, it's really hard to adapt the art here. So, Jeff, you're next, sir. What do you thought about this first section of the Killing Joke, the endpoints, where the Joker finds out that his wife and unborn child got killed? Go ahead.
Yeah, the I mean, I was sad when Batgirl got shot. That really kind of shocked me. I was like, holy fuck, really? Like, damn. Like why was that necessary? And she was found naked, or unclothed. Like, what was that supposed to mean? Was she like raped? Like,
Well, I mean, eh, no, the Joker didn't do nothing. It's just he took pictures, but technically he did undress her, and that is assault. So,
yes, it is technically that's true, sir.
so I mean,
I
it
mean,
is, yeah.
unless it's consensual when you take the pictures, then it's okay.
Yeah, but this, no, she was forced to, be
Oh
taking
yeah,
pictures.
yeah. I mean, she'd been shot and everything, like that. That's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I mean, because she must have been in a lot of pain, I'd imagine. So like, that's pretty fucked up. But I mean, um, I'm not sure, what was going on with all the circus people that Joker found to be his gang or whatever. I don't know where they came from, but they were interesting. Joker found some fucking circle folk, circus folks. Uh, you know to be his crew or whatever. There was some babies in there and shit. And I don't know what was going on with all that shit, but yeah, Batman finding that murder scene that's like 3 years old was really cool. I like that. I thought that was cool. And very dark. Very Joker kind of like crime to commit. Yeah. I mean, they grabbed up kidnapped the commissioner Gordon and everything. That's fucking crazy. Made him into like a little dog, like slave dog. Little sexual slave freak. Out of power. Oh man. Just again, was just really kind of shocked that they had to fucking let Joker shoot Batgirl like that. That was pretty fucking hardcore. But that's pretty much it. The Batman detective stuff is pretty interesting. It's cool. Obviously that's always fun to see. Him going to crime scenes and talking to the Gotham detectives and all that. And their dynamics. Is always interesting. There's always some people in the department that aren't so fond of Batman, which is, kind of traditional, we always see that, kind of with Gotham, and PD, yeah, that's pretty much it, sir.
Yeah. I always like seeing Batman being a detective. It's always a thing. So I really appreciate that they showed that in this movie. And yeah, I agree that they did a good job of showing how some of the GCP, particularly Bullock, the right hand second in command for Commissioner Gordon, he doesn't like Batman. If you've seen the cartoon and the comic books, he's not really fun with Batman. But yeah, and speaking of the Joker's origin story, just briefly, the Red Hood thing, that was a thing from his initial origin story from the 50s called the origin of the Red Hood. So like the first attempt of Joker's origin story, he was like this like former like big bad Batman fought, and then he just like the Killing Joke, he dropped into a vat of chemicals, but like he disappeared after that, and then the Red Hood like reappeared, and then Batman had to investigate like okay why he came back and all that, and then he discovered that the Red Hood is actually the Joker, and that became like a just a common thing that he was this formerly this like bad guy from like a previous case that Batman dealt with, and the Killing Joke just like extend that more into this here. So just kind of like bring that up because there's a lot of origin story for the Joker as we see. Okay, getting back to the movie. We're still sticking with the flashback here. So, at the plant, the criminals and the costume comedian, aka the Red Hood, runs into security personnel as the group attempts to escape the plant. They get caught by the security because that wasn't there previously, as the comedians say. So they kind of increased the security after he left, probably. So the criminals are gunned down, and then the comedian, who is the Red Hood, is confronted by Batman. Terrified and unaware of his surroundings, the comedian, laughingly trips and falls into the chemical plant's waste. Yeah, chemical waste pound bizarrely, and is swept through the pipeline into the outside. And as he removes his mask, he is shocked to see that the chemicals have permanently disfigured his face, giving him a clown-like appearance. And his disfigurement, combined with the loss of his family and what he had experienced in the chemical plant, had drives him completely insane and transform him into, we know him as the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker. And so the directly from the book, and the only time we actually see the Joker dropping into chemicals is from the 1989 film by Tim Burton. That's like the only time we ever saw this kind of version. And wrapping up, we go back to the present. Batman finds and saves Gordon as the Joker flees. Batman gets like an invitation by the Joker by 2 tickets he sent to the police department. And then Gordon remains sane and demands that Batman capture the Joker by the book. Batman follows the Joker as the latter tries to pursue him that the world is merely one big joke and that one bad day is all it takes to drive a ordinary man insane. So let me stop there. Let me get to you, Jeff. What you thought about seeing the origin of the Joker, becoming the Joker, of him dropping the chemicals, and then the end point is like we went back to the present day, seeing Batman investigate where the Joker is, and then getting the invitation by the Joker, and like him saving Gordon and like trying to stop Joker. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this backstory that they give the Joker is kind of whatever to me. It's kind of weak, like okay, loses his wife in a random fire or whatever, and his baby or whatever, like he's gonna go commit this chemical warehouse crime job or heist or whatever with these fucking guys. Like, okay, whatever, like that's fine. I mean. It's whatever to me, I did not think much of it, to be honest with you. And, I mean, I don't really need to have I don't really need a really awesome backstory for the Joker, really, as a character. He doesn't have to have that for me. You know what I'm saying? The, the old, he falls in the vat at the chemical warehouse deal or whatever, is like just, typical, we've seen that before with Joker, right? Like, it happens. As far as like, Batman, like, saving, Commissioner Gordon and everything, and that was pretty good, him fighting the carnies, was pretty interesting, I like that. In real life, if somebody came at you with a big ass like battle axe, and started swinging that at you, you know what I'm saying? Like in real life, that would be really, really scary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like really scary, and like and it would not be as easy as it looks, to like get out of the way from getting hit with that thing. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wanted to hit you with that, like they're gonna get you, like you don't want to be touched up with that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not good. Yeah, in real life that would be fucking scary, man. That would be scary.
I mean, it was a strong man, so he was able to carry that. And Batman is small; he's able to move fast.
Well, he's Batman in real life, like that. Like that would be extremely dangerous to have somebody chase after you with a fucking like axe like that. Oh man, yeah, I would not like that. That two-headed looking broad that was on Joker's gang that could throw the knives. She was cool. I liked her. She had two heads. So that was cool. I'd certainly love to intimately get to know a two-headed bitch. That'd be fun. You can do some interesting stuff with that woman.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for Batgirl, in the hospital and everything, she's all, paralyzed or whatever, and crippled. That's, obviously sad to see, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm, not surprised that Commissioner Gordon would want Joker to be caught the right way or whatever, because that's just, typical Commissioner Gordon type of, behavior, So I'm not surprised, by that. I wouldn't expect him to bend those rules, but or want like, vigilante justice, because that's not really his deal or Batman's deal, So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Awesome, yeah. Just briefly, the was it Batman versus the the carnival people. uh yeah, there were colorful people in the Killing Joke. I mean, Joker always likes to use circus theme. I mean, he is a clown, so it makes sense that he used that kind of people. I was kind of surprised we never see that in any of the adaptation, but it was funny. I actually like the change here because in the book, he doesn't fight the Commonwealth people. They actually run away because they see Batman, if you meet, like, if you're a smart person, you don't want to go up against Batman, so they run away. So I like that new change they did here to have the Carnival people to fight Batman in this movie. That's a cool change that I'm like happy about. Cyber, you're next, sir. What do you thought about the origin of the Joker finally becoming the Joker? And the end point here is like Batman investigating where is Gordon, up to he gets the invitation of the Joker. He saves the Gordon, and then the end point is kind of like him going after the Joker. Go ahead.
So, like, the origin portion, I enjoyed. I found it fun. Watching him transform into the Joker officially, I thought that was really fun and cool. I enjoyed like the animation there. I thought that was done really well. I also just like kind of the madness that ensues with the Joker and kind of how he becomes the nut job he is and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's done really well there. And if you're new to, like, say, the Joker, maybe you're not very aware of the Joker, maybe you never heard of the DC Joker before, and you watch this and you get to see that origin story. It's kind of like a nice shining block that allows you to understand this character. And I think they do a good job with that, kind of like with how in The Dark Knight, we have those kind of brief moments where the Joker gives those stories off, and says, do you know how I got these? And stuff like that. It's kind of similar to that, I feel, in this sense, where it gives you that kind of great, like, even like story. It might not be 100% true, but at the same time, it gives you an idea into what the nut is of the Joker. And I think they did a good job there. And I did find that enjoyable and entertaining. Now, the whole the whole Barbara Gordon thing, her being shot and being the hospital shit, I could have done without all that. I didn't need that. I think that was stupid and it wasn't necessary for this film. I think that, you could have had it where she was already injured. She was already, was paralyzed. That's that. We move on. She's now Speedy Gonzalez in a wheelchair. That's just how, to go with it. Like, I don't need that backstory because you just saw her get shot. We know what happens after that. So it's not like that was necessary, I felt. And I just think it took away from the story of what this film's about, the Killing Joke. It's about the Joker, and having this whole like boo-hooey moment time stuff down the line for this whole Barba thing. And you're just like, okay, yeah, all right. Well, yeah. Downer, Debbie Downer for me. But anyways, I think going to our point where, Batman searching for Gordon, stuff like that, I think that's when the film gets interesting again. We get all that kind of like detectiveness going, hence the Detective Comics aspect of DC. And I think that Gordon saying, you got to do this right. I completely understand from Gordon's point, of bringing the Joker in without killing him, and to get real justice, because if you just kill him, he wins. He gets his justice. He doesn't, he doesn't get to, basically get what he actually deserves, what he's done to other people and stuff like that. So I get that. And so, when they have that conversation and everything, I feel that Gordon is very true at what he's saying. And at the same time, Batman, who is, a vigilante, really, if you think about it, he still has morals and he follows some morals, even though he's very much a vigilante. And so I think that kind of that goes into the storytelling very well and gives that kind of paradigm, which really works well in this film. So I think that this section, except for the Barbara Gordon stuff, is absolutely fantastic. I think it's very fun, very entertaining, enjoyable. And, going to the end point, I think that it does a really good job of being very entertaining.
Thank you, Cyber. Yeah, I mean, the hustle thing is from the book. I was kind of happy they have it there, but I don't like it because of the context of the relationship between Batman and Batgirl in this movie. Because in the book, it was like, because in the book, it's an Elseworld story, so you don't know if like Barbara knows Bruce Wayne as Batman, and like you don't know if like there's a Batgirl in that universe. So it was a shock when I read that, and when she say Bruce, I was like, oh, she knows, Batman's Bruce, because at the time of this book, it wasn't supposed to be connected to the continuity of DC comic books during the 80s. So I thought that scene really worked, but in this movie, it doesn't work because it's like, as you say before, Cyber, very soap opera and very I don't know, any TV soap operas we see in every day. All right, let's get into wrapping up the film. uh oh, and I do agree with you, Jeff. I don't need the Joker to have an origin story. Like, I like the Joker not having one, just like the Joker in The Dark Knight, as I brought up before. But it's like it's cool. I'm fine with him saying that, like, oh, like like, how did I get the scars? Like, I'm fine for him, like, just like faking out his origin story for some people, but I don't need to see a full on origin story. That's something I don't like sometimes with this character. But anyway, okay, so see here. So yeah, Batman subdues the Joker, tells him that Gordon has remained insane, or sane, and concludes that the Joker is alone in his madness. And he then attempts to reach out to him, offering rehabilitation, but the Joker apologetically declines. So like during this night, they both fight, and then after that, the Joker gives up because he thought he had a gun, but it's actually a joke gun, unfortunately. So Joker declines his offer, saying it is too late for him. He then says that the situation reminds him of a joke about two patients in a insane asylum who tried to escape by leaping over a gap to a adjacent building. The first patient makes it across, but the second patient is afraid that he will fall. But the first patient gets the idea. Hey, I got this flashlight with me. Let's just shine it across the gap between the buildings, and you can a rock. You can across the beam and join me. And the second patient questions the idea. What do you think? I'm crazy, and you just turn it off, and then I'm halfway across. Initially Doc. And Batman soon joins Joker in sharing laughter at that joke. And then the police soon arrive. The Joker laugh tails off while Batman continues laughing. And then we get this weird mid-credit scene of like telling us that Barbara has retired as Batgirl because of the paralyzing like shot of the Joker. Like, we know that, but we had to confirm that she still works. She's using the wheelchair and taking on the mantle of Oracle, uh, while preparing to go back to work. So let me. That's the end point of the Killing Joke. We're done with the Killing Joke. And just briefly, anyone will get confused about the big credit scene. It just after the Killing Joke in the comic books, she does become Oracle. It's this new identity that Batgirl takes over. First appear in the new Suicide Squad run by John. Was it Upstringer? I forgot the name of the writer that did the revamp of Suicide Squad in the 80s. So this is her new like superhero identity moving forward during that continuity. But anyway, let me stop there. So let me go back to you, Saber. It's your turn. What you thought about the finale of the film, and any thoughts on that mid credit scene?
So the end of the film, I think overall is pretty basic and pretty decent. I honestly thought that the action was pretty done well. You had that great kind of banter between Joker and Batman, which is really fun. Which is very much what the Joker is all about. Joker is all about games. He's all about nuttiness. He's all about kind of that crazy feeling, and I think he does a good job of giving that off. And of course, we can't forget Mark Hamill did the voiceover of Joker in this, and he was absolutely freaking amazing as the Joker. Absolutely fantastic. Love him as the Joker. He does such a great job voicing the character. And I think that kind of how we end up with the Joker at the end of this film, you're kind of like, okay, and in the end, we got him. This is a good thing, and etc. And, we get kind of like that little bit of justice they feel for Barbara after being shot by him, and her becoming the Oracle, of course, I think is, very much something that would happen in the DC universe, and which would make it fun and interesting, and definitely, to give Barbara more purpose again after not being able to be Batgirl anymore because she's paralyzed. But other than that, I think that, overall, the ending of this really just kind of pulls it all together and gives us this, decent ending. But at the same time, I think it could have been better. It could have been funner. It could have had more to it. And, as I mentioned before, I'm not too familiar with how the comics played it out. I think that, it did a pretty decent job from what I've heard compared to the comic. But overall, I think that, I thought the ending just wasn't as powerful as kind of that midsection of the film, whereas the midsection had quite a bit more going on. That was just more interesting. But like I said, I think my favorite portion at the end here is definitely the bantering between Joker and Batman, and kind of those questions and those kind of riddles and stuff like that, which I thought were really fun. So overall, I think it was okay. It wasn't too shabby. And I thought it had some entertaining value to it.
Very good. Jeff, any thoughts on the finale and your opinion on the mid-credit scene? Go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say about the big credit scene because I don't know anything about, this, alter ego, or whatever, or, other variation or whatever you get of Supergirl, right? I have no experience with that, so, to me, it's kind of whatever, I just don't have the DC, comic, background, that I do with like Marvel, for instance, going on with DC, so, yeah, it's whatever. And, I did not find that joke to be funny. I didn't understand why Batman found that joke to be so funny. Like, honestly, I guess it's like supposed to be a really prophetic, ending, but I thought it was just kind of okay, to be honest with you. They wanted it to be like really, really profound, but it really did not. It didn't build up to that, really, I thought it was kind of weird how Batman was all like buddy all of a sudden, like palling up with the Joker there at the end, like it seems strange, kind of surreal, to be honest with you, for their relationship to ever be like that, so yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, overall, again, like I said, the film, was an improvement over the last couple of films we've done. I will say that, it's better, definitely was an improvement. But I could give or take when it comes to some of this Batgirl stuff, everything that you have in this film. I really could give or take with that stuff, it's totally whatever to me. And still don't understand what the first half of the film is about, how it connects it all to the second half of the film. But that's pretty much it, so that's all I got.
Yeah. So, no, great job, guys. Before we do our ratings, just want to briefly say my opinion on this film. I thought this was definitely, I agree with Jeff, definitely a better watch than some of the DC animation films we've been talking lately. I think it was a decent adaptation to the graphic novel. This is my personal favorite of the Batman stories. So they did a really good job of adapting the graphic novel. And I like some of the changes they did during the part that is actually the Killing Joke. But I agree with Jeff. The whole prologue with Batgirl and the stupid mafia guy who's obsessed with Batgirl is so stupid. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really connect at all with Killing Joke. Like, if you just made this prologue as like a Joker case that connects to the Killing Joke, then yeah, it could work. And you can have Batgirl there, and then that could work. this whole part like doesn't make sense. It doesn't really connect to all of the Killing Joke. It just want to do more with Batgirl before she gets killed and well, sorry, not killed, but get crippled, and of course, gets assaulted by the Joker. By taking the photos and undressing her. And I know a lot of people had that problem, etc., etc. Um, the ending, Cyber brought this up. The ending of the book is kind of interesting because it was supposed to be this very ambiguous ending because in the book people it's just this fan theory, it's not official, but like I people think that the Batman killed the Joker towards the end of the book. And like if you read the book, it like especially the shadows, like of the rain, you see the Joker laugh stop and just Batman. It indicates either it's your choice to think either or not Batman did kill the Joker towards the end, and that's has been a debate. Been going on forever since this book came out in 1988. So just want to throw that out. Where this ending, it's like you don't know what happened with the Joker. It's probably it's just Batman took Joker away and then like the laughing stopped. But in the book, it's a little more like you really don't know the fate of the Joker. Like, did he survive? And it's this weird like thing where they're just laughing out with this joke. And yeah, and the joke it works better in the book than in the movie. I think they should change up the joke in the film because the joke works better in the graphic novel than the movie. So that's my thoughts. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the movie. I thought it's decent. I'm happy where they adapted the book, but I don't like the whole prologue, as Jeff said before. So let's get into ratings. So starting with you, Jeff, rating of the film. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I can probably feel okay giving this one like a maybe a 7.5. Yeah, about a 7.5. I'm good with.
Okay. Saber, your rating?
I'll give it a 7. I feel that there was some useless stuff to it, but overall a very decent film. So I'll give it a 7.
Well, guys, we're in the same boat here. I have to agree. I'll probably punch up a little bit. A 7.5 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I'm agreed. It's the was it the prologue, the whole prologue with the Batgirl is very useless. We don't need that. We don't need that for the movie. It's stupid. I agree with you guys. But the actual like adaptation of the Killing Joke, very good. The casting is great. I mean, I had to agree with Cyber. I mean, look, the late great Cameron Conroy is always going to be Batman. He's a great Batman, so it's good that they have him to voice Batman here. Mark Hamill is the greatest Joker of all time. I mean, up there with Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, it's a toss up with those two actors. But Mark Hamill is a great Joker. I'm very happy he voiced this character for this particular story. And I like Tara Strong as Batgirl. She's great. I don't like what they do with Batgirl in this movie, but she's a great voice actress. So that's my opinion on the film. So that's all, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Batman: The Killing Joke. We'll be, doing plugs. I just want to thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. So I'm going to give it to Jeff to plug us out and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I like Tara Strong too. She's pretty solid.
Yeah, she's good.
She's done a lot of voice acting over the years. Done a lot of characters. We're doing next Wednesday night. We are doing a night of Seven Kingdoms, episode 1.
Yes.
Just a reminder, guys. All right, I'm just a pop culture guy, sir. Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, wow. All right, everyone. This is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Batman King Joke. I hope you guys enjoy my moderation. Please tell me how to improve myself in terms of moderation. But I always try my best to do a good moderation for any of this TV review or movie. So, anyway, I posted a very short and funny clip from Batman 66 film where Batman has to get rid of a bomb. It's a very iconic thing from the Batman 60 film. You can check out my trailer reaction of the X-Men Avengers Doomsday and plus the new Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day with Luke from the franchise Attic and Bird from the room upstairs. This is a clip from the 28 Days Later live stream review that we did last Sunday. Thank you both of them for joining us. Joining me on that Sunday. Shorts, I did my review on this really cool show that me and my mom have been watching called The Blind Spot. It's a really good.
Oh, I used to watch that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and my mom were watching it on Netflix. So we're in season 2. We're wrapping up that. So you could check out my season 1 review. I love it. It's really good. I'm doing some clicks from the 28 Years Later film, the first one. Because of this Friday, the new film, The Bone Temple, is coming out. Plus, you can check out the last, the first 20. Was it the first 2026 stream? 28 days later. The next one is going to be the 28 years later, to honor the Bone Temple. So that's where I'm at. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay. Yeah, that chick from The Blind Spot is pretty cool. I like her. She was the one that played Lady Sif in the MCU.
Yes, I told my mom about that. I was like, "Yep, Lady Sif is playing her." I was like, "Yeah."
All right, Cyber, go ahead, sir.
All right, folks. So if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy me here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, you can check out my solo content. You'll find me under Cyberneticshark. You'll find me on YouTube, which is my home base. You'll also find me on Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, all kinds of places. So check it out. I see there my most recent review still is the Black Phone 2 and Good Boy. If you haven't seen either of those, check those out. Be having more reviews up for you guys soon. Finally got a couple more filmed for you guys. I also have recently put up a couple other mini reviews for you guys. One of Greenland 2 Migration. Just saw that yesterday. Fun film. Also put up a couple of mini reviews of Shudder exclusive films called Influencer and Influencers. One came out in 2022. The other one came out just last year. If you haven't seen either of those, check those out. If you want to watch me battle a Sith Lord, check out my most recent AI Sora short there. Check that out. Give it a whirl. And of course, if you haven't seen any of my other little shorts there recently, give those a whirl. Appreciate it, guys. Keep on watching us. Keep on subscribing. Keep on checking our stuff out. Keep watching us here in the MCU's Bleeding Edge. We appreciate you.
All right, and we'll be back, everybody, on Friday for Fallout Episode 5. For the MCU's Bleeding Edge, we are... Yeah. What's up, Andres?
I just wanted to let everyone, I'm not going to be on Friday, so I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're not going to be there on Friday. Yeah, Andres is going to be there. And besides that, we are out of here, and we'll see everybody.